just when you thought the 49ers might not win the Super Bowl this year, they go out and trade for Keion White. What's up? Good evening. Welcome to LaCohn and LaRocca. I'm Grant Cohn. That's Tyler LaRocca. And let's get right into it. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Brock Purdy, whether he's going to play or not. I don't think he's going to play. That's the vibe I'm getting. We'll discuss Tyler's vibe and why we think it's going the direction it is. But first, it's trade deadline week. So we got to start with some trade stuff. The trade deadline's in less than 6 days. Fewer than 6 days.
Yeah.
And don't worry, Niner fans, because the Niners are already on top of it. Now, they signed Clelin Ferrell off the practice squad. They could have had him at any time. He's not really a factor, although you never know. Kendrick Bourne was kind of in a similar situation. But Keion White, this is a guy who's done nothing this year, but did a little bit of something last year. And he does seem to be, an interesting player. Are the Niners being aggressive enough for you, Tyler?
No, man. I don't understand. My thing is, there's you can build a team one of two ways or both. You can either draft really well or you could trade really well. The Niners do kind of neither really well. And then they get gap fillers like Keion White where people are like, well, actually, this is a pretty good trade. No, it's not. We're going to go in 5 months. Why did they trade for Keion White? And I just feel like with a team like this that drafts as bad as we do, you need a trade for blue chips. They can't draft in the first round, so go trade for a first rounder. Go trade for Kayvon Thibodeau. Go trade for Quinnen Williams or Quincy Williams. Go trade for some of these guys because I get what people are saying. I agree. Don't just get a rental. That's why I'm saying specific players that wouldn't just be rentals that you could have on the team for 2-3 years. Because, I don't know, man. It's just
doesn't it feel like the Niners did the absolute bare minimum just to fill a temporary hole? I don't think they would have traded for Keion White if Sam Okwonu hadn't sprained his ankle. You see what I'm saying? They lost a couple of guys. They need bodies to get through a few games and to sort of stay afloat. So they traded not even a 6th round pick, a 6th so they could get a 7th back. They did a pick swap, the lowest pick swap you could for a guy who, has a little bit of draft pedigree and a little bit of production. It could work out. It could not work out, but they're not even then making a serious attempt.
Yeah. And even then he's not even an edge rusher. He's like an interior rusher. So it doesn't even help what we need, which is an edge rusher. And I see everyone going, well, that could not be their only move. Bro, I've been around the Niners enough. They're not making a splash move after this, no matter how bad they should. Again, the NFL is wide open this year. I do not understand why 0 teams are taking swings. It's actually insane.
They've made it real clear they're not taking big swings all offseason. The 49ers started the offseason explaining that they were going to let a bunch of guys go because they didn't have the money because they're going to be paying Brock Purdy. And remember, even since last year, there were reports that they were interested in Devontae Adams, but they told Adams' agent that they're only shopping wholesale and only offering wholesale prices. Yeah. And Adams laughed. He's like, well, I'm a retail wide receiver.
Yeah.
So to me, this is a wholesale trade. This is another wholesale player, just kind of like Brian Robinson Jr. When they traded him, a lot of people were like, oh, man, me included. Man, this is a great value. They're going to find something for him. They never play him. He's a kick returner. They need blue chippers. Their blue chippers are old and injured. They have the worst running game in the league. They have the worst running game in the league. Their running back is their number one wide receiver. He's carrying the passing game, and he's not doing a good job as a running back. They haven't even started if they're serious about contending. To me, it's like, if you're not serious about contending, is it really worth it to trade draft picks to plug holes? You did that for Brian Robinson Jr. Is he going to be on the team next year? You trade draft pick for Keion White. He'll be on the team the next couple of years. Is he really going to play?
Yeah.
And if he does, are you going anywhere?
I just don't understand it. It's pretty obvious they completely shot themselves in the foot with all of the contracts, right? Purdy is an obvious one. Like, you shot yourself in the foot, so now you can't pay anymore. I won't say Debo because, again, I won't say BA because, like, BA, his injury wasn't his fault. It was Brock Purdy's fault. Debo, you shot yourself in the foot. You got like 1 year production. Christian McCaffrey, you shot yourself in the foot. You can't even get it. You don't even have an offensive line for him this year. Last year he was hurt all year. And then, I mean, like, George Kittle, in my opinion, you're just wasting the last couple of years of production he has right now by putting him in the midst of this rebuild for no reason. Like, I feel like if you're keeping Kittle and Fred and Nick, and you're not, or at least Kittle, if you're keeping Kittle, re-signing Juice, and keeping Trent, why are you rebuilding? You like, you're paying Kittle serious cash to rebuild. So they should have just traded him and drafted Tyler Warren. Like,
it seems to me if they could trade for a really good running back, it could change their whole season. If they could go trade for Breece Hall, it could change their whole season.
I think if they could if someone like Breece Hall caliber came available, right? Like, someone said, "Oh yeah, like, he requested a trade." Niners would, in my opinion, be like first ones on the phone. But
they should be.
I don't know, man. I feel like they've made such a series of mistakes with contract extensions, having horrible drafts in the first and second rounds, and it's caught up to them.
Shady Luke says the game tomorrow, Miami versus Baltimore, could have an impact on this year's trade deadline, even for the Niners. Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips.
They're not going to go for Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips. They're too injury prone.
And they're shopping wholesale. Shady Luke says, haven't been watching the Niners games, but have the injuries and battle line caught up.
They caught up last week. They caught up last week.
I got another trade deadline topic. I asked Kyle Shanahan today at his press conference. I said, Jauan Jennings requested a trade before the season. Is it possible that you would honor his request in the upcoming week, or do you think that he's going to be on the team after the deadline? And he said, I'd be very surprised if he wasn't on the team the rest of the year, which to me pretty much confirms that the Niners are trading Jauan Jennings in the next couple of days. Or that they would like to. Well, how do you sort of interpret this?
I mean, it's hard. Like, I truly do agree with the sentiment that whatever Kyle and John say, if you listen to the opposite, like, that's what they're saying. They're legit pathological liars. Jauan seems unhappy. He's playing horribly. You're not going to extend him. I think you might as well see if you can get anything for him, unless you really, really want to let him walk for no apparent reason. But I don't know where you'd look. Who would want him?
That's my question. I mean, because obviously trade him for whatever, a pick swap.
Yeah.
Because he's killing you.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, he's not going to be in the team next year. He's not helping you now, and he's arguably hurting you. The Niners quarterbacks have thrown 9 picks this season. 5 have been on passes intended for Jennings. He's just a disaster. He's injured. He's unhappy. He's not going to be happy until he gets the contract he wants, which he's never going to get, so he might never be happy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Kyle Shanahan said he'd be extremely surprised if he wasn't on the team the rest of the year. Like, honestly, who's taking Jauan Jennings off the Niners' hands?
Like, that might be it. He might be like, yeah, I mean, I don't see anyone wanting to trade for Jauan. Like, I will say, if I was Jauan, like, I wonder who told him to reject that $16 million a year, because whoever did.
Was that officially reported, or was that like rumored by a Twitter account?
I have no idea.
I don't believe that was officially reported. He may have turned down that much. I thought I heard through the grapevine that he wanted way more than that, though. That's what I heard. Was better than Brandon Ayuk and would settle for slightly less than what Brandon Ayuk got.
All right. Well,
I don't know. That's allegedly
smoking a special kind of crack to think he's better than Brandon Ayuk.
Well, I don't know. Allegedly, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, any stock he had is completely gone. Like, I genuinely think they should have traded him in the offseason at this point. His stock is cooked. You'd be lucky to get the deal we just sent for Keon White.
I got a hot take. So they beat the Rams a few weeks ago without Jennings, without Kittle. Bourne stepped up. Tanja stepped up. They wouldn't have won that game with Jennings on the field.
I agree. He's a drop and pick machine. He's literally
Because if you
thrown.
play him, you got to give him 6 or 7 targets, and something bad's going to happen on at least 2 of them.
He's thrown
Do
as
you
many
think he
picks as
hurt his
Purdy.
trade value when he said the thing about his ribs? Do you think the Niners would want that out
I,
there?
I think I think everything he has done this season has destroyed his trade value.
Yeah.
I think the holdout destroyed his value. I think his play has destroyed his value. And then I think the complaining and then getting publicly called out by Trent Williams, who never says anything about anyone, destroyed his trade value. Like, yeah, I don't think he has much value. I'm gonna be honest. I don't see. I genuinely would be surprised if we got a 5th or higher for Jauan.
If you trade for him and you don't give him an extension from like another team's perspective, he could be just as disgruntled or more on the new team.
Yeah.
And if you trade for him and you give him an extension to keep him happy, I mean, that could be a disaster too. That being said, he's from Tennessee. Maybe he'd like to go back to Tennessee, play for an awful team, get a bunch of targets from Cam Ward. Maybe that would make him happy.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I would offer him to anyone. I would just tell it through the grapevine, yo, Juwan's available. If you want him, come get him. Like, we have no interest in keeping him. Like, he doesn't seem to have any interest in staying on the 49ers. I'll say that much. Like, I don't know. And because that's the big thing was the whole thing with Jauan was he's slow. He doesn't get much separation, but he's big and he catches everything. And then this year, he's not catching anything. So it's like he literally brings you 0 value.
Negative value. Yay Area Niner says they should trade Jauan for a running back for anything. They just need to get him off the team so they can give his targets to Jake Tonjes and George Kittle and Kendrick Bourne. Enough for Christian McCaffrey. Okay, you've seen the videos of Brock Purdy. Man, he's been doing the same thing at practice the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that is he's out there. He looks 100% healthy, but he is 3rd in the pecking order. Mac Jones takes the 1st rep. Adrian Martinez takes the 2nd rep. And then here comes Brock looking like 100% Brock, at least in practice, and he doesn't play. He did it last week. And that was the setup today in today's practice. We don't know if he's going to play. I don't think the Niners know if he's going to play. We asked Kyle what the decision is going to come down to, and he essentially said it's up to Brock. He has to tell us if he feels healthy and confident in his toe, and only he can know. So, what do you think, man? Is Brock going to play?
I'm telling you, I don't think Kyle wanted Brock. I'm going to say it every time we bring it up. Kyle doesn't act like he likes Brock Purdy very much. I think what they need to do is they need to just accept we should go into full rebuild mode and draft Kyle a Matt Ryan style quarterback, man. Because do you
think that Purdy is legitimately not ready to play?
I don't think he is. I think he's in my opinion, I think he's kind of nervous. He's been hurt every single year. I think he doesn't want to take any more hits. I think his toe, even if it's not fully bothering him, it's bothering him enough where he's like, I really don't want to get hit 40 times a game. Because as much as everyone on Twitter likes to make it sound like he's Lamar Jackson and just escapes every pocket, he's not. He's not that fast. He's fragile. And I have a feeling within a quarter he'd be back to hurt again. You know,
I think the reason he's not playing is because he tried to gut it out at less than 100% against the Jaguars, and it looked really, really bad.
Yeah.
I think it looked worse. He looked worse than Mac Jones in that game.
Yeah.
He was so inaccurate. And Mac Jones is hurt too, but it seems like he can at least throw an accurate pass right now. So if Brock Purdy comes back and looks like that again, I mean, it'll be hard for his career.
I'm telling you. No, you go ahead.
Well, I think that their offense isn't really built to make a quarterback look good. When Brock first got here, the offense was built to make any quarterback look good. Now they can't block. They can't run the ball at all. And they don't have a receiver who can get open down the field unless Pearsall is healthy. Yeah. So the offense is just throw the ball to Christian McCaffrey 15 times a game. And then when you don't do that, like throw a slant pass to Kendrick Bourne or maybe like a wheel route to Kyle Juszczyk. I mean, George Kittle isn't even running down the field. So whichever quarterback plays is going to struggle. If Brock had played against the Texans, he would have lost and struggled. And I don't think he necessarily wants to do that right now. He wants to put that on his resume.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think Kyle, we need if Kyle's going to stick around, the Niners need to get a big body pocket quarterback. And enough with the Jimmys and the Purdys and these like smaller guys that are just quick hitters. They need to just get him a Matt Ryan style, big 6'3" to 6'5" dude that can stand in there and take a beating, because that's just what Kyle needs. He doesn't care about offensive line. He's never going to care about offensive line. And he's just going to keep getting Purdy hurt. The one thing I do think they should do if Purdy does play is they need to start implementing that jumbo package that the Texans and the Steelers, basically every team without a great offensive line, the Vikings are starting to do it, is implementing, where you have the 6 offensive linemen and a tight end on the field to give your quarterback some time. Let your playmakers be playmakers and give your quarterback some time. If Brock plays, they need to do that because you need to protect him. You paid him $250 million.
I have a prediction. Okay. Brock's not going to play this week.
Well, yeah, I didn't think he would. I don't think he's going to play next week either. That's my prediction.
Well, I don't know if he's going to play next week. Here's my prediction. I think Brock will return the same week that Ricky Pearsall returns. Or if Brandon Ayuk returns before Ricky Pearsall, then he'll return the same week Brandon Ayuk returns. But I don't think Brock's going to go out there and play the dink and dunk offense with Christian McCaffrey. In his 2 starts, he had Pearsall. The offense is dramatically worse without Pearsall because you can't stretch the field without him. The whole defense can crowd around the line of scrimmage and anticipate the run or the short pass.
I have another hot take. I think the Niners need to get a receiver because you can't rely on Pearsall and you can't rely on Brandon Ayuk right now. And I also think Brock Purdy's going to come back against Arizona. I don't think he's coming back next week against the Rams. I think he's going to want a cupcake game. I wouldn't blame him. I don't want to come back. I wouldn't want to come back against the Rams if I had turf toe either. I would probably target that Cardinals game or the Panthers game for Brock.
I think the problem for Brock is that he's not that much better than Mac. And if he is even better than Mac. So if he comes back at less than 100% health, he's going to look worse than Mac. And he's going to lose games. And there's going to be, maybe the team is going to want Mac Jones to play. Maybe the fans are going to want Mac Jones. I think when he comes back, he's going to want everyone to say, wow, look at the difference. He's so much better than Mac. He's definitely worth $265 million. That's what I think he's waiting for. And I'm not saying he's malingering. I mean, he's clearly not 100% healthy, but neither is Mac Jones. Mac Jones doesn't have to do that. He just has to stay healthy and stay upright. He's making $4 million. Brock has to prove that he's way better and super special and a difference maker.
And I think Brock just isn't comfortable not being able to run. I think he's just not comfortable sitting in the pocket because he can't see. And I don't think he likes sitting. I wouldn't want to sit behind that offensive line either. Again, this isn't me hating on Brock. I don't blame him for not wanting to come back against New York or the Rams. I don't blame him for not wanting to sit behind that offensive line. And he just had a baby. I don't blame him for not wanting to play. So I would, dude, I just don't think he wants to. I think he's tired of getting beat up, man. Who else? Mac is only doing it because he knows he's going to earn a contract at the end of it.
If Mac were making $265 million, I don't know if he'd be playing right now.
Yeah, I don't think many people would.
King's Drizzy says, who can we get before the deadline realistically?
Kayvon Thibodeau.
Brees Hall.
Brees Hall, Kayvon Thibodeau.
Prophet says LaRocca has aura and Grant is morphing into Jesse. Because my beard. Yusuf Karimi donates $2. Thank you very much. All right, here's the other big question. Why is Ricky Pearsall still not ready to play?
Dude,
he didn't even practice today. He doesn't seem like he's making any progress. He might have to be limited for a few days before he can get back on the field. They didn't put him on IR. They seem to think that this was a minor injury. They called it a minor injury. It doesn't seem so minor. What do you think?
I'm back on my Ricky Pearsall. I'm done with him train. I'm done. Jalen Hurd 2.0. The dude can't stay healthy. He was amazing for 3 games and then he got hurt. Albeit, again, it was another Brock Purdy hospital ball. But, I think that he's just, dude, I don't know. He's made of glass. It was a non-contact injury. He's tried toe tapping, stepped weird, and he's been out for 5 weeks. Like, him and Purdy should have been on IR, so they could have just focused on recovery.
But I think the fact that the team didn't put either one on IR indicates that they're surprised that the recovery has lasted this long. And I think that's why I want to talk about like what's going on. So with Brock, I feel like he's maybe looking at the situation and saying there's really no incentive for me to play at 85% when I know I'm going to struggle. I could lose and I could re-injure it again. From Ricky's perspective, he could come back and play at 80%, but he doesn't really offer you anything if he's not explosive. He's not physical. He's not going to break tackles. He's not a good blocker. He needs to be faster than other people so he can average 17 yards a catch. And if he doesn't do that, then all he's going to do is put out, bad film, bad numbers. His stock's going to go down. And I think one thing in his favor is that his stock is super high right now because the first 4 games of the season, he was good. Like he was the number one weapon on the offense. And I mean, if he's hurt for the next couple of years, his stock will go down, obviously, but he can pick his spots and feel like I have good film. I have good numbers. I'm a fantasy football darling. If I come back and play like that, people won't care that I missed 2 months. But if I come back and look like freaking Demarcus Robinson, I got a problem.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I don't understand it. I really don't. I just... Maybe he wants to come back with BA and Purdy. I don't know. Maybe Purdy's his boy, and he's like, I'm waiting for Brock. I'm not going to shine for Mac. I don't know, man. Like, I just don't understand why he's still hurt. Purdy's I can kind of get. Turf toe seems a little bit tricky. PCL sprain, also tricky, but it's like, I feel like you'd know if he either needed to be on IR or not. I don't understand why they're not on IR. I don't know why we're not moving for a receiver, like even someone decent, like a free agent. Or
is that another reason why Kyle Shanahan said he'd be very surprised if the Niners trade?
That might be. Like, they don't have
Ricky?
any.
Where's Ricky? Where's Brandon? Are you really sure they're coming back in the next couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Jono says, are you going to New York? If so, will you try New York tacos? Probably should. I am going to New York, so I'll see if I can find some good New York tacos. Yusuf says, Niners front office low-key wish they were 3-5 and not 5-3 because now they're forced to entertain trades to keep the fans and people interested.
I don't agree. I don't think this ownership likes not winning. I think they would be way more pissed if they paid Brock Purdy and they were at 3.
Doesn't Kyle seem like the kind of guy who, if he doesn't think he can win the Super Bowl, he'd be into tanking?
I think so. I think that's a smart way to think. Honestly, I mean, I know that's not popular with like fans, but I totally would. Like, if you're not going to win the Super Bowl, what's the point? But do I want to get first rounded?
You have to have job security to tank.
He does. He does. They're going to somehow let Robert Saleh.
They just missed the playoffs last year and fired all their coordinators, and now you're going to tank for the second year in a row, and someone's not getting fired. It might not be you.
Yeah, you know what Kyle's going to say? Kyle's going to be like, dude, we didn't have Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, Brock Purdy, Brandon Ayuk. What do you want me to do?
You never have your players, man. You're always hurt, dude. Like, I don't want to hear that excuse every single year.
It's going to happen.
How come the Chiefs don't have a myriad of injuries every year? Like, they play more football than you.
Okay, so here's my thing. I was actually talking with my brother about this on our show, and I was saying that I was wondering why, because like even the Steelers are relatively healthy and they're pretty physical. The Chiefs are pretty physical. It's all these teams I've noticed that are very physical in training camp. The teams that like are really preparing their bodies to get hit are the ones that are staying healthy in the season, and the teams that are like protecting their bodies from getting hit are the ones that are not healthy during the season.
Yeah, the Niners want to be physical, but they don't have physical off seasons. Eric Mock says not all sick days are from sickness. Sometimes it's the culture. That's why the Niners miss so much time. Mental health days is what I used to call them. Joseph Ernberg says trade first pick. They won't use it on O-line anyways.
No, they're probably going to use it on a receiver
in the first round next year for sure.
Either that or a receiver. I literally, dude, you know who the Niners need to get, and they need to trade 3 firsts for him. They need to go get Caleb Downs. That's who I want the Niners to get. I want them to move heaven and earth to go get Caleb Downs. I am sick of all the safeties. We even put Mustafa with them. They suck.
Okay, but I got another wide receiver question for you.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to come back to the 49ers? Who's going to play first? Brandon Ayuk or Ricky Pearsall? Who's making their comeback first?
By the way things are looking, Brandon Ayuk seems to want to get back on the field. It seems like the Niners don't want him to get back on the field. And Ricky Pearsall is the complete opposite. It seems like he doesn't want to go on the field, and the Niners want him. My guess would be Brandon. I think his practice window is going to open next week, and he might even play a couple snaps.
I don't think his practice window is going to open next week.
Oh, you think Pearsall is going to somehow
make a bet? You want to bet $5?
Sure. Let's bet $5.
Venmo me. He's not going to have his practice window open next week. This is the Dre Greenlaw situation from last year. And here's why. I don't think the Niners see Brandon Ayuk as an actual part of their future. I think the relationship between them is broken beyond repair.
But in my opinion, that's exactly. That's my exact reasoning as to why you'd open his practice window.
And I think they will eventually. But if he were to play and get injured again, and that would affect their ability to trade him during the draft or before it, that would be the worst case scenario for them. I think that outweighs whatever potential benefits he would bring to the team in the win-loss column this year. That's my prediction. I don't think they would. He might play a game, a half.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Brandon, man. I want him to come back. He's my best friend.
I'll tell him you said that.
Thank you. I miss Brandon. Tell him to get back on the field.
And I think what's rough about Brandon is that they're going to trade him. They paid him. They're going to trade him. They're going to get next to nothing from him on this contract. He's going to go somewhere else and
pop off.
He'll be like a year removed from his injury. He'll be fully recovered. He'll be motivated again. He'll be happy again. He'll be right in the middle of his prime. He may not have a bunch of great years, but look at Debo this year. Not great, but better than he's been with the Niners for a minute. I think Ayuk could be like that too.
Did you see Debo's pick six?
It hit him in the face. It went through his hands and then it hit him in the face. That was the Debo that we remembered. But still, I mean, I don't think Brandon's going to do that.
But no, here's my thing. I don't think they can trade Brandon. They're going to lose Jauan. Ricky Pearsall can't stay healthy. So you're going to rely on Jordan Watkins? I don't see a way they can trade Brie. Because then what are you going to do? You're going to draft a receiver in the first round over the defensive end you need? Or are you going to pray some fifth rounder from North Dakota State pops off and ends up being your superstar? I don't think they can. I think they would like to trade Brandon. I don't think they can.
I think that they might be able to trade him in the offseason.
But how? We don't have a receiver.
Well, they're going to say they have Ricky Pearsall.
Oh God, that's going to be the start.
They got Ricky Pearsall. They got Jauan Jennings.
If Ricky Pearsall is my wide receiver one come 2026, and Saleh is not my head coach, and he doesn't have a new GM, I'm going to be pissed.
You're still on the Saleh train after this weekend?
Dude, I can't blame Saleh for anything. He is completely absolved of any and all blame. He has nobody to work with. He has no pass rusher. He has no pass rushers. He has one linebacker in Tatum Bethune. D. Winters sucks. He has the two worst coverage safeties in the NFL, and then he has one corner. He has nothing.
Joseph Ernberg says, why assume they'll focus on the offensive line? They never do. Who assumes they're going to focus on the offensive line? They're absolutely not spending a first-round pick on the offensive line next year.
Yeah, no, I don't think either of us assumed
extended McKivitz.
Yeah, I don't think either of us have assumed I assume they're not focusing on offensive line.
Yeah, speak for yourself there, Mr. Ernberg.
Yeah.
All right, PrizePicks time, baby. Start with Christian, the ageless wonder, 69.5 rushing yards. More or less, he went for a whopping 25 against Houston. But again, the Giants have the worst rushing defense on paper in the NFL.
Let's go. Yeah, let's go more, I guess.
Okay. How about this one? Longest rush for Christian McCaffrey. 13.5. That's such a slap in the face.
He's got a ton of burst still, so he's probably going to break off a 60-yarder.
I mean, if he can't do it against the Giants.
He did it against the Falcons.
He did it against the Falcons. He had 15-yard run. I'm saying more, man.
I believe.
A lot of people are
we
haters,
better win
not
this
me.
game.
What about Tyrone Tracy, the Scattaboo fill-in? 49 and a half rushing yards as a full-time starter.
I mean, dude, he's got to have more, right? Our run defense can't stop a runny nose.
I think that's fair. What about Jackson Dart through the air? Will he throw darts in this game or 211 and a half?
Yeah, I believe he's going to go more than that. CJ Stroud just almost
considering there won't be a pass rush.
Yeah.
Per se.
If he can't, then they need to draft a quarterback next year because my God.
51 and a half receiving yards for McCaffrey.
Yeah, most likely.
53 and a half receiving yards for George Kittle.
Yes. I believe in George.
Oop, that's the wrong one. Longest reception? No. There it is. Oh, what are you talking about?
I think
I
don't want that pick.
Picks. Why are they doing that to me?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Unpick it.
Oh my
I'm so disappointed right now.
What are you doing?
Let me figure that out. Boom. Hold on. There it is. See, I'm a PrizePicks master. Look at it. Just more. Look at that. Look. It's the most optimistic PrizePicks of all time.
Yeah.
That's how you know we're right.
You're very optimistic about Christian McCaffrey. Very.
I've always have been. Submitting the lineup. Download PrizePicks right now. Play $5, get 50 instantly in lineups when you use promo code COHN. That means you make a lineup, put down $5. All of a sudden, boom, you got 50 more bucks to play with on PrizePicks in lineups. Promo code COHN, available in 45 states. Next question. Why do you think the 49ers didn't draft Cam Skattebo when Kyle Shanahan loved him? We knew he would love him. He said he loved him. He said that they thought he was awesome. And they seriously considered taking him in round 3. Why do you think they didn't?
I was mind blown they did not take Skattebo. I thought that pick was the only for sure pick. Like, that is a Kyle Shanahan player.
I think Kyle's mind blown they didn't draft Skattebo.
So I actually had a question to ask you about this since we're talking about the draft. Looking back, is this draft awful? Like, was this draft horrible?
They might have gotten some good players, but I don't think Michael was worth the 11th pick. Alfred Collins, I kind of like, but we'll see. And then the rest of the draft, like, my goodness. We'll see about Upton Stout. But, like, the rest of the draft, whoa, dude.
Like, this seems like if I was Kyle, I'd be sitting there like this. You trusted solid a draft, and look how bad that turned out. At least my drafts aren't this bad.
Doesn't it seem like John Lynch listened to Saleh, listened to Kyle, and was like, okay, we're going to go with defense again. And maybe that was the right. I like the strategy at the time, but the fact is that Nick Martin pick was just a reach. Everyone agreed. No one thought he was going to go in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And he hasn't played a snap on defense yet. Everyone thought Skattebo would go there. He ended up being really good. He's hurt now. Yeah. But he's gonna have
that
a good
was like
career.
a freak act. It was like Trey Lance's injury. It's like it's freak accident. I mean, I don't know why they passed Skattebo. I thought that was the only like open shut black and white. Like, yeah, he's a 49er. I could not see him being on any other team, and then he went to the Giants. And I was like, wow. Like, in my opinion, I wouldn't have been surprised if Kyle took him at 11. I would have been like, yeah, that's a Kyle Shanahan. He would have done that. Like, I don't know, man.
I mean, in retrospect, maybe Cam Skattebo made a bigger impact than Mike. I mean, Cam Skattebo had like 600 yards and 7 touchdowns in 8 games.
I mean, let's be real. He is an awful running back in terms of efficiency. Like, his efficiency is.
He's on the Giants.
But is our offensive line any better?
No.
Is our run game any better?
No.
That's a good point.
What am I talking about?
So I don't know, but I think he would have been a great juice check replacement.
That's what I thought. He would have been a good compliment. You could have played him at the same time as McCaffrey. He would have been a good compliment to McCaffrey because he's so much bigger, but they can run a lot of the same plays because they're both receivers.
I will be genuinely surprised if John Lynch is still on this team next year. These drafts, bro, you got to answer. These drafts are off.
Last year was promising, but if Pearsall goes, I mean, if his stock plummets and Pooney's stock plummets.
Even then, even if Pearsall comes back, right, for the last, 8 games and plays well, I'd still be like, bro, you still didn't have to draft him, though, there. You could have still gotten DeJean And then Pooney sucks. So who else do you have from that draft?
Doesn't it seem like John Lynch's method for drafting is to take turns asking different coaches who they
Dude,
want?
it seems like
Saul, it's your pick. Kyle, it's your pick. It's like, well, eventually you have to take responsibility for these picks because that's what the general, you got to fire someone.
And
if the picks don't work.
It also seems like he's going like, all right, who's the obvious guy here? Oh, it's this guy. All right, who would be the obvious guy at this pick next round? This guy. Okay, let's grab that one. It's like his thing every time. His philosophy seems to be like, yeah, but who would be random that we could grab that could end up being good? Like he never just takes. The only time we took the guy that straight up should just be the pick was Nick, and it worked out flawlessly. So I don't know why you're not just doing that over and over.
Taking the best player available?
Yes.
No, you have to take the best scheme fit available. Bill Kennedy says guarantees Saleh head coach after 3 years. But he says, which of your co-hosts have the best picks?
Oh, me. It's not even close. It's not even close.
I'll have to do a tally at the end of every week and see who's the PrizePicks master. Do you think the 49ers are done trading? They traded for Keion White a week before the trade deadline exactly. They got 6 more days. What do you think?
No, I think they're going to trade Jauan Jennings, and then I think they'll be done trading.
That's interesting. I think that they're in like reactive mode right now. So they traded for Keion White because a couple of D linemen went down in this one game against the Texans. So if they lose a couple players in the upcoming game, they're going to trade a 7th round pick to replace him. I think they're just patching holes right now.
Yeah, like I see a lot, like apparently Niners are really banging on the door for Hendrickson. I also think that's a terrible trade. Why are you going to extend a 31-year-old edge rusher?
Doesn't it seem like they want people to think they're interested in Trey Hendrickson so that they the
maybe
fans are off their back?
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, we're really trying. The Bengals just won't play ball, as opposed to we're in the Luke Farrell market. We're shopping for guys who are the Kirkland brand of football players.
Yeah. I don't see it. Like I agree with you. I think they're going to patch a hole if they have to, and I think they're going to trade Jauan. I know everyone's trying to hype up like, well, the Niners aren't going to be done. They're still going. It's like, no, they're not. They're not. It seems so obvious. I just hope the Yorks sell the team. Stop selling pieces and just sell majority.
Instead of just like trying to patch holes with little dinky trades here and there, it'd be nice if they actually addressed a weakness and made a pretty big trade. I'm not saying trade 2 first-round picks or 1 first-round pick. They got Christian McCaffrey without trading any first-round picks. Mm-hmm. Why don't you go get a really good running back or a talented like Breece Hall? Why don't you because Christian's not that guy anymore. He's still a good player, but at this point in his career, I think he'd be smart to just fully transition to wide receiver. Those guys
he's
have
legit.
Careers and they make more money, and he's better at that.
He's legit at receiver right now.
Yes.
I could see him being a slot guy.
Receiver. It's not even close, man. He's got 75 targets. No one else has more than like 36.
Well, he's their new Debo. He's their older and better Debo. You know, you had to replace Debo with someone older, a little bit more wise, more experienced. So they did.
It's true.
You know,
it's true.
I don't know. This season's just frustrating me at this point. It's just frustrating.
KP says, shout out Optic.
Yes, sir.
Bring Lance back now that he's more developed.
No, thank you.
That's what'll happen next year. Lance and Mac and Brock on the same team.
I genuinely think they just need to get some big pocket. Maybe they're going to trade the house to jump up for Fernando Mendoza and just get some big pocket guy. And Kyle's finally going to get his Matt Ryan and ride off into the sunset and be happy.
Do you think the 49ers regret paying Brock Purdy already $265 million?
Yeah.
Most they've ever given to a player in franchise history. And he's played 2 games. It's unclear when he's coming back, and he's been hurt for all but 1.5 of the quarters.
It's not even debatable. If anyone says they're not regretting it, they are out of their, I was going to say a bad word. They are out of their minds. They could have literally not paid him this year. Oh, but what if he holds out? Well, he's already holding out. So they would have gotten him for significantly cheaper because it would be 2 bad seasons in a row. And they probably wouldn't continue with him as their starter, which is what they should do and are probably wishing they did. I don't see a universe in which they don't regret it. So you should ask Kyle that actually at the next press conference. Like, do you regret that you guys signed Brock Purdy?
I think they do as well. I think a big reason they gave him this money is they felt they had a they're always wrong about these people. I think they felt that Brock is this old school throwback who loves football and will, gut it out to play no matter what. I think he did that on his rookie deal. I mean, he hurt his shoulder last year. He came back immediately. He wanted to make sure that nothing jeopardized him getting that contract. I think they felt that he wouldn't change, that they knew exactly who he was. And I'm not saying he changed, but money changes everyone. And now there's no incentive for him to play through a toe injury, where Mac, since he doesn't have the $265 million contract, there's every incentive for him to play through a PCL injury and a shoulder injury and an oblique strain, which is what he's doing. And I think the Niners are looking at the two of them. Kyle's looking at the two of them being like, man, I got this guy who's playing through all these injuries for $4 million, and I got you for $265 and you won't. Like, what are we paying you all this? Shouldn't you be the one who's extra resilient and durable? So I think that's probably the emergence of Mac Jones, not as like this super great quarterback, but just as a guy who can do Brock Purdy's job for a fraction of the price I mean, how could you not regret it once you see Mac Jones in action and realize you didn't have to do this?
Yeah, I mean, they had some weird allure. Again, it's because he was Mr. Irrelevant. If he was some random 4th, 5th round pick, they probably would have dropped him by now.
It was the narrative, man.
Yeah, dude, this
incredible narrative.
The story juiced him out of his mind. Like, everyone sees it as his name. Oh, he's Mr. Irrelevant. I guarantee you, if he was like a 5th, 6th round pick, he would not be talked about anymore. They wouldn't have paid him. It's just he's this underdog story that's just he's so good, dude, and he's not worth the money. He wasn't worth the money when you signed him. He wasn't worth the money last year. He wasn't worth it this year. He won't be worth it next year. And I think they're very, very much so wishing they didn't add a no trade clause into that contract, because I think he'd be gone at the deadline.
It's funny. They traded all those picks for Trey Lance, and you think that's like the worst trade in franchise history. It's a fireable offense, but no one really got fired for that. This contract
should be
harder
fireable
to move on from.
Yeah.
And it's going to affect them for seasons. It's already affecting them.
Yeah.
They've been shopping in the bargain bin for a while because of this, and they're going to have to. So the only way it works out is if they draft really, really well. And far,
they can't.
Not so good. Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion, and I like John Lynch. I think he's a great person. I think he's a great players GM. And he's a great late round drafter. But dude, you cannot afford to always miss on your blue chip prospects. You just can't. You can't miss out. It is great to find diamonds in the rough that fit your scheme, but you have to hit on blue chips. Like, every single team in the NFL hits on on 50% at least of their blue chip picks. The Niners miss on almost every single blue chip. Even Brandon Ayuk. Even if you want to say, well, Brandon Ayuk's good, bro, they could have gotten Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb in that same draft. That's a miss. Like,
but it's worse than that. Like, it's not just the draft picks for John Lynch.
It's also the bad contracts.
It's the contracts. It's the extensions. Like, what was the last extension the Niners gave out that they don't regret? I mean, what about Kittle? What about Warner? What about Bosa? I'm not saying these guys got money and then stop caring about football. It's just it didn't work out. And when you give that much money to one player, you're thinking he's special. He's going to stay healthy. He's a gladiator. He's a warrior. Like, this money is going to be worth it.
And I'll even say it. Even the contract I liked in Lenore, he doesn't deserve top cornerback money right now. He's fine.
Yeah.
But is he worth what he's getting paid? No. And that's what I'm saying. Like, what's the benefit of John Lynch? He's missing in drafts. You're giving out bad extensions. So why is he not fired? Any other GM would get fired. Is it because he drafted Nick Bosa and Fred Warner?
Is it because he can say, look, I'm not really making these picks. Like, I'm leaning on my coaches. I'm empowering them. Kyle wanted Garendo. Kyle wanted Trey.
Yeah.
Sala wanted Michael. Sala wanted Nick Martin. But at a certain point, the Yorks can say, like, all right, man, gotcha, but we don't want to fire Kyle or Sala. I don't really know what you do here. Maybe we need to bring in a general manager who actually has a ton of personnel experience and doesn't just defer to his coaches all the time.
And that's my thing. Like I like John Lynch. Like I do. I think he's great. But you can't like constantly miss and still have a job. You're missing on contracts, you're missing on draft picks. So at what point is it like say the end of the year continues this trajectory? Alfred Collins is solid. Michael Williams is he's a good edge setter. And that's it. And then last year you have pretty much nothing. So it's like in 2 drafts you have a solid player and a like possibly potentially good one. In my opinion, that's not enough. And then you have like 4 bad contracts. Like I don't know, man. I don't know when a GM, if that doesn't get a GM fired, like what does, you know?
And again, if the Niners make the playoffs this year, they can say, wow, what a great story. All these injuries, all these rookies. We won 10, 11 games, made the playoffs. It doesn't matter that we lost in the first round. We were ahead of schedule and we just loaded on the fly. If they miss the playoffs again with this schedule, someone's got to go down.
Yeah, if they miss the playoffs, in my opinion, you have to fire Kyle or John. You can't fire a coordinator. You have to fire one of them.
You fired the coordinators last year. It wasn't enough.
Like you can't say injuries are an excuse. Okay, well, injuries. You drafted these injury-prone players.
See, like, and that's why I feel like Kyle came out today and said that thing about Scatterboo, because it's like real clear. Hey, if I had it my way, we would have had that player, but I don't have it my way. So who's making the picks? You can figure it out for yourself.
In my opinion, if they somehow miss the playoffs this year, one of them has to go. Has to. And my assumption is it's going to be John. I don't think it'll be Kyle.
So. KP says maybe Brock's waiting for Ricky and BA before he comes back.
Yeah,
that's my theory.
Shouldn't have paid him.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
All right, last topic. This has been going around social media. Niners and Lions sort of started their rebuild around the same time. You could argue the Lions started theirs a little bit.
They started later. Yeah.
After the Niners, when they eventually got Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. Since then, both teams have given out a lot of extensions and paid a lot of money. And the Lions just objectively have a better team.
Yeah.
Injured or not. They just have a much better team. How did they do it, considering the Niners had even more top picks than they did?
So a lot of people were like getting on me about saying this because they were like, well, how many Super Bowls have the Lions made? Not winning a Super Bowl is not winning a Super Bowl. I don't care if you make it or you don't. You have the same amount of success. We have the same amount of success as the Browns in the last 20 years. Like, congrats. We have NFC championships. Who cares? Like, when the Lions right now are more set up for success in the future. They have a better chance at winning a Super Bowl within the next 5 years than the Niners do by a long shot. And it's because, one, when they realized they weren't going to win with a certain quarterback, Matt Stafford, they're like, you know what? We just need to cut our losses and not overpay him. The Niners said, we're probably not going to win this with this quarterback anytime soon, but we're still going to give him $250 million. So there's one. Two, their drafting is phenomenal. All of their players are like homegrown talent. And if you're not going to take big swings in free agency, you need to be doing that and hitting on a lot of your picks. And then 3, they built offensive line. Their quarterback, Jared Goff, although Goff is better than Brock Purdy by a lot, he has time. He has an offensive line to like sit there and not get beat up. And 4, for Kyle Shanahan, they have very good running backs. Very good. A very good tandem. And so, and I mean, you could say coaching, but I think Dan Campbell's a great coach, and I think Kyle and Saul are great coaches as well. But the main difference is the Lions hit on their drafts. They didn't overpay on a quarterback they knew they couldn't win with, and they built an offensive line first and foremost.
I feel like when you look at the best teams in the league right now, and the Niners are not among them, you look at the Rams, the Lions, these are teams that have legit general managers, guys who
Yes.
were personnel people,
Mhm.
guys who have final say over the roster. I mean, even though they work with very, very high profile head coaches, Sean McVay, I mean, there's only one or two coaches who are more respected than Sean McVay in the league, and he still has to defer to Les Snead because Les Snead's good at his job and has been with the Rams longer than McVay's been with the Rams. On the Niners, it's just, I mean, they have John Lynch, but it doesn't seem like he really has the horsepower or the juice to run the organization the way that the GMs of those teams do.
And look at Roseman. I feel like Roseman can't miss. The dude is always hitting. Everything he does, he hits. And when he doesn't, like, look at Mechie, right? They got Mechie, and he's not really working out. So what do? They just flipped him for another player they needed in another position of need. Like, all right, let's just flip him then. Like, the dude doesn't miss. And yeah, like the Lions do it, the Rams do it, the Eagles are doing it. They're just not missing. And
you think with the Niners, like you have these coaches who know their scheme so well that maybe they can actually scout players and tell the general manager exactly who works in their scheme. But look at the track record. Like every time Kyle Shanahan tries to draft a running back, he gets it wrong. Every time he gives, I mean, I guess he said he wanted Cam Scatterbo. He ended up with Jordan James. That's all I know. He ended up with Isaac Guerrero. That's all I know. Trey Sermon, Ty Davis Price, like awful, awful, awful. Even at wide receiver, they got a couple right, but they got a whole lot wrong.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, right? Is they're also, when they're aggressive for the best available. They're not aggressive for
Keon White.
Yeah, Keon White or some random in the draft. Like they went and got Jahmyr Gibbs, and everyone was like, "Why would you go draft Jahmyr Gibbs?" Well, look at how much they proved everyone wrong because he is a top 3 running back in the NFL.
The Niners spend a first-round pick on a running back? That was bold.
Like that's what I'm saying, man. Like they are just aggressively correct. They're always going for the best player available, and the Niners aren't. They're always trying to do some cute shit and grab like some diamond in the rough that they could have drafted 20 picks later. And
they always reach.
Yes.
And when people point out like, hey man, why did you take this linebacker 60 spots before anyone else expected to be drafted? They're always like, well, in our scheme, he's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
In our scheme, he's going to produce. It's like, okay, so you're just reaching for scheme players. You're supposed to be taking the best player available. That's what Les Snead's trying to do. That's what Howie Roseman's trying to do. But you guys are like admitting that you're reaching because there's only X amount of players who truly fit the scheme that you want to run, and you got to have them.
And to people that are saying, well, the Lions had higher picks than the Niners have drafted top 3 more than the Lions since 2017. The difference is the Lions are hitting. The Niners drafted Solomon Thomas, Nick Bosa, and then Trey Lance in the top 3. They hit on one, and you can't miss on these blue chips, man. You can't.
The people the Lions paid ended up being worth it. They paid Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's worth it.
Dog.
They paid Jameson Williams. I don't know. He's on my fantasy team, and he's screwing me every week, and I hate him. But they paid Sewell. He's worth it. They paid Goff. They made him worth it because they invested in the offensive line. And I think what's interesting, the Niners paid Brock, but even if they gave Brock a great offensive line, he still couldn't make all the throws the way that Goff does. He doesn't have that kind of big arm. What makes Purdy kind of his value when he was younger was that you didn't have to invest in an offensive line because he could run around and then he could mitigate his lack of arm strength by like literally running towards his target and making the throw shorter or getting out of the pocket. Now, like if you took Jared Goff off the Lions and put Purdy on that team,
they're not as good.
They'd necessarily be better because they don't need his scrambling. They need an arm.
They'd be worse. Jared Goff has one of the best arms in the NFL. That's not saying he's one of the best quarterbacks, but he has a very good arm. Purdy has the weakest arm in the NFL. You could count backups, third stringers, and practice squatters, and Purdy is at the bottom. Like it's completely different. And I think a lot of people were expecting when Purdy first came in and they were like committing to Purdy, it was like, okay, well, it is good he's mobile, but let's build some offensive line so that his mobility doesn't have to be constantly used. And they like never did. Whereas with Goff isn't as mobile as Purdy, but they were still like, if we're going to have a really good run game and be a run first team, We need to build this offensive line. But for whatever reason, Kyle does not have that mindset, and I don't know why.
Because the 49ers are a scheme team, and the Lions aren't.
Yeah.
The Lions are not. The Lions are Dan Campbell. They have a different coordinator every couple of years. They switch up their scheme. They're like a trick play team. They're like a fourth down, go for it team. I mean, their identity is not tied up in the X's and O's the way that the Niners' identity is.
And even they, they're just, I don't know, man. They're an ethically built football team. That's what I call them. They built in the trenches, and then they built around that. And sure, they hit on a couple late rounders like Amon-Ra, but they hit on their blue chip prospects. And if you want to play winning football, you need to hit on blue chip prospects. You can't just bank on 5th round scheme fits to like carry you through. Because yeah, like you said, what about when Saleh leaves? All of these scheme fits. Bryce Huff, we saw him away from Saleh. Didn't look so good. Like Hufanga, we saw him without D'Amico Ryan. Didn't look so good. So you can't keep drafting people for specific coordinators that are just going to leave. It makes no sense.
I mean, here's some guys they've drafted in the first round the last couple of years. Jahmyr Gibbs, Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell. I mean, those three right there. One of the Niners drafted 3 players in round 1 back-to-back years like that. How long has it been?
I genuinely don't think they have since I've been alive.
I mean, I'm just saying. Michael says, honestly, they've been there. We've been here a decade. It's time to move on from both. He has no one in the media, not Grant. How is no one in the media, not Grant, not getting fatigue from them?
So here's my thing. I understand the no fatigue from Kyle because, again, it is very, very hard to find better than Kyle. I will not say the same about John, though. I don't know how people don't have fatigue from John. John's exhausting.
Yeah, he's kind of getting to that office space. What would you say you do here? Too much sauces. Do you think Saleh gives Kyle Shanahan tips on offense?
No.
He might give him tips. I don't know if Kyle takes him. Might. I don't know.
I don't think
Shady Luke says, I think it's mind-boggling that Ballard values and has valued for years O-line over Lynch and Shanny. Ballard and Indy. Man, that team is so good.
That team, again, an ethically built football team. Sure, they struggled to find a quarterback, but they've been solid long enough where now they finally have someone.
YMG Love Blue says, here's $5. I appreciate it. 6:58 in the West Coast. You know what that means? I was supposed to meet Tyler last week in Houston, but he didn't come.
I'm so sad about that.
I'll let it slide this time. Next time, better be there. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, guys.